Okay, this video shows a practice test for the vocabulary of Unit 4, and I'm going to show you how you could answer these vocabulary questions. So first of all, when I see the many words here and many blanks, I want to use two pieces of information to answer these questions. Number one is the parts of speech, noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. And number two is the meaning. So actually, to know the parts of speech, I'm going to actually go ahead and mark them on here, which is something you could also do like on a paper or something like that. So first of all, I know that decreased is a verb. That means to go down. Okay, I know that banned is a verb. That also means to go down. Okay, distraction is a noun. It means something that takes our attention away. Encouraged, because it's ending in ed, we saw encouragement, which was a noun, and then encouraged, which was a verb. Okay, we see the next word is rate, which is a noun. This is the one that means how fast we do something, like the speed that we do something. Okay, separate can be an adjective, but it's also in this, the way we studied it as a verb, to keep two things like apart from each other. The next word is solution, and that's a noun. Okay, so that helps us remember. Beneficial, we practiced a lot. That's an adjective, okay, and it means good. It really just means good or causing a benefit, like a positive effect. Next, we have concern, which means a thing, a noun, something that we are worried about. Okay. And we have contrast. Contrast is a noun, and it means the difference between two things. And then we have created, which is a verb, to make something. And then finally we have crowded. Even though it ends in ed, it's actually an adjective, because we say the streets are crowded, the store was crowded, something like that. Okay, so now let's look at the meaning of the sentences and use the information about the parts of speech to help us analyze it. Number one, I'm worried about my mother. Her health is my major blank. So here we have my, which tells us that we need a noun. Is major a noun? No, major is an adjective. So that means that in this space, we're going to need a noun. Okay, you don't have to mark a noun, but this is sort of the mental thought process I want you to go with. You also see in this sentence, you see the word worried. So, and something about my mother's health. So let's see which nouns. Her health is my distraction, something that takes my attention. Okay, maybe. My rate, no. Her health is my solution, no. My concern, maybe. My contrast, no, it's not a difference. So is it better to say distraction, something that takes our attention? Or is it better to say concern, or concern? It's better to say concern, because it's something that we are worried about. Okay, and that word tells us. When I moved to this country, my sister, me, to learn English. So here we're going to need a verb, because we have a sentence with when. We have two subjects and verbs. I moved. My sister did something. Me to learn English. My sister decreased me? No. Encouraged me? Maybe. Separate me to learn English? No, this doesn't have to do with separation. My sister banned me to learn English. That doesn't really make sense. Or my sister created me to learn English. So in this one, hopefully you can see that the best answer is encouraged. That means she motivated me, she told me it was a good idea, she helped me. Number 3, there is a big between the community garden and the trash surrounding it. So when we have a sentence with there is or there are, the subject comes after the verb. So when we have a, we know we need a noun. And we have big, which is not a noun. It's an adjective. So we know in this space we're going to need a noun. Like one of the ones that we had, like one of the ones that we had in the PowerPoint presentation. when we see between, okay, so there is we need a noun, distraction between the community garden and the trash, rate between the community garden and the trash, solution. I mean, we want a solution, but here we have community garden and trash. Concern we already used, it can't be that one, or contrast. So some people might think it's separate because we want to separate the community garden and the trash. However, separate is a verb, so that means that we cannot use that one, okay? When we have between, we often use the word contrast, and that's what we need to do in this situation. It means there's a difference, something that surprises us between these two things. I like New York City, but the subway is very, It's hard to tell what part of speech we need here because we might need a noun or adjective, okay? Please notice that in this case we have but. Remember, but is a contrast connecting word. So this means I like something, but there's also a problem. So let's try, the subway is very concerned. So actually here we know we need an adjective. The reason is we have an adverb here, very. So very cannot describe a noun. It has to describe an adjective. So we have two adjectives. The subway is beneficial or the subway is crowded. Now, beneficial goes with like, but we want something that's actually something we don't like because we have but. So we need to show I like it, but the contrast is the subway is very crowded. Okay, I like New York City. The subway is very crowded. Number 5, the city discovered a major problem with the train station, and they are looking for a something. So after A, we need a noun. There's no other choice. We must have a noun. So so here we have there's a problem, and they are looking for what? They're looking for a distraction. They're looking for a rate. They're looking for a solution. And we already used the other ones. So hopefully you can see they're looking for a solution. Remember, whenever there's a problem, we look for a solution. Number 6, the number of people living in my country has because people are having fewer children. So here we need a verb because it's part of the present perfect with has, and it's the main verb in the sentence. So here we see there's something about number, and there's also something about fewer children. Fewer means a smaller number. So let's see which verb could complete this. The number of people has decreased. Encourage, we already used. Decreased, separate, banned, or created. So the number cannot create. The number cannot ban. Here we want to say the number of people living in my country has decreased. It means it got smaller, and the reason people are having fewer children. Last year, Harper College smoking on campus. Here we need a verb because the sentence doesn't have a verb. So could we say decreased smoking on campus? It's possible to decrease smoking. However, we already used decreased here, and also it doesn't make sense to decrease smoking. It makes more sense to stop. So hopefully you know that banned is the word that means stop. Okay, last one. When I am studying, my phone is a, and again we need a noun because we have a. So my phone is a distraction, something that takes my attention, or rate. Hopefully you know that your phone is a distraction when you are studying. At least it is for me.